Well, it's been showcasing Maine's culinary landscape since 2007, and Thursday, Harvest on the Harbor returns to Portland, and there's plenty to check out.
Absolutely, and in less than 10 minutes, by the way, we'll be previewing Harvest on the Harbor's From the Sea event, an oyster shucking competition with a live oyster shucking demonstration. But first, we are being joined by the event's promoter, Gillian Britt, and owner of Hardshore Distilling, Jordan Milne, to find out more about Harvest on the Harbor and the Cocktail Classic and Maine Lobster Chef of the Year competition. There is so much ground to cover this morning. What an amazing event.
We're really excited to have it
We need a whole show to go over this, not just one segment, right?
I know. So, Gillian, maybe let's start by talking about the history of Harvest on the Harbor and why it was created and some of the highlights.
It was created initially to boost business in what was then a really slow time of year. It's really the shoulder season, and it was held earlier in October, and we've pushed that further out into later October because it does still begin to suddenly decline in terms of hotels and restaurants, and this is a good way of showcasing Maine's amazing products.
Yeah, and the celebration kicks off with the Maine Cocktail Classic. That sounds good right about
It
now.
does.
Tell us more about your involvement and Jordan, your company, Hardshore Distilling.
Sure. So we're a gin and bourbon distillery based in Portland, and we've been working with Gillian for a number of years. And what's great about the Harvest on the Harbor is that the enthusiasm of the guests and the enthusiasm of the distilleries that participate, it's really a one-of-a-kind event that we've been participating in for a couple of years now. It's a room full of distillers showcasing products from vodka, rum, liqueurs, gin, bourbons. I mean, there's a really, really broad array of spirits that are so high quality, and it's a really, really great time.
Sounds amazing. And Gillian, on Friday, the Maine Lobster Chef of the Year competition gets underway. What can you tell us about that competition, the chefs competing, and the judges who will be deciding the winner?
Well, it's essentially a 9-course lobster tasting.
That sounds terrible.
I know, it's so hard. You visit each of the different chef stations, taste their different entries, you can vote for your favorite, and then as you mentioned, there are also 3 professional judges, and we have Johnny Hathaway from Shucks Maine Lobster. He's the lobster sponsor, is one of the judges, and then Amy Traverso from Yankee Magazine, and Tim Sabula from the Portland Press Herald. So it'll be a lot of fun. It's a really good time.
Jordan, tell us about the cocktail scene here in Portland. We hear so much about the breweries and everything, but I mean, just as good are the cocktail industry, right?
So the talent throughout the state in the cocktail scene has really stepped up over the last couple of years. I mean, we have amazing restaurants, amazing mixologists that are really creating so much invention in the cocktail scene, and I think the distilleries are really stepping up to that. We're being asked by bartenders and restaurateurs throughout the state, what about this product? What about this product? Can you do something like that? And they're really open to craft-made products, and the distillers of the state have really stepped up. There's over 20 distilleries throughout Maine now. Like I said before, making everything from tree bark liqueur to vodkas to rums. We make gin and bourbon at Hardshore. I mean, it's a really, really broad, deep category now.
Yeah, so much creativity, I feel like.
It's
for
great.
Sure.
It's unbelievable. Some of the things that people are doing right now in the Maine distilling world is absolutely fantastic, and it'll all be on display at Harvest on the Harbor.
Yeah, it's definitely the time to come experiment and to meet all of the people behind these amazing products, which is part of the fun.
Yeah, I remember when people thought it was crazy with potatoes in vodka, and that's not all anymore, right?
No, I mean, we use wheat grown on my family farm, but there are lots of potato farms throughout Maine, and some distillers that have been really the fathers of the distilling industry in Maine started in the potato farming background. So I mean, it's an incredible kind of farm to table or farm to glass, if you will, industry.
And Gillian, Maine is known for punching above its weight when it comes to the food scene. Has the event received attention outside of Maine as well?
It does. It's often on those lists of like top 10 fall festivals and experiences that you must do when you're in Maine. And yeah, it definitely does get a lot of people from out of state. About 50% of the attendance comes from all over the country, and I noticed that there was even somebody from Asia who bought tickets. So
wow,
you never know who you're going to meet.
Yeah.
This has been going on since 2007. It's such a huge event. Talk about just the excitement it brings to the Portland foodie scene and the distilleries. Everybody involved, including you guys. And just how the city of Portland benefits too.
I mean, well, what's really amazing about these events is when the distillers all get together. You know, you see such a
party.
Yeah, absolutely. We don't see each other all that often. You know, I mean, sometimes the ones that are close together, but there's this cross-pollination. It's like, oh, you're doing this. What if we work together on this? And new products are born all the time. So at the event, you'll see just the enthusiasm from the distillers, from learning from each other and talking to each other about what we're doing, what we're learning. I mean, the industry is growing and innovating all the time, and events like this are really a great source of cross-pollination for that.
All right, is there a favorite event? Because there's a few, and if someone has to choose, which one am I going to go to?
Well, I mean, I don't know. I feel like I would have to say the Maine Cocktail Classic because, but I love the oyster events.
I know, it's hard to choose.
They're all different, and they're all wonderful in their own way. Absolutely.
Yeah. And this thing, again, has been going on for a long time. I mean, so many people go. What does it mean to be part of this?
I mean, this is the one event that can't be missed from us throughout the year. I mean, we're being asked to do tasting events throughout the state, all year long. But Harvest on the Harbor is a fixture on the calendar.
It's like the Super Bowl, right?
I mean, it really is. And the culinary industry is there. The seafood industry is there. I mean, this is where our community really gathers and showcases and puts our best foot forward. So this is a really special event.
Yeah, something for everyone, definitely.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Where can people buy tickets? Look at all the events and sort of the timeline and schedule.
It's all at harvestontheharbor.com. So you can find all the information about each of the events and tickets right there.
Perfect.
All right. For food and distilleries, it's not only the Super Bowl, World Series, NBA Finals, all in one.
All in
All in
All
one.
in
All in one.
All right, after the break, Arc Maine is heading to the kitchen. We'll have a live oyster shucking demonstration as Emily Santum puts her skills to the test.
Or lack of skills, we'll see, huh?
All right, moment of truth. We are in the Arc Maine kitchen to see if Emily can successfully shuck an oyster. We have the owner of Maine Oyster Company, John Harrigal, here to show us how it's done. Before we get to the shucking, John, can we start by just talking about your history with oysters in Maine and your business and how long you've been around?
It's it's all very fresh, the industry in Maine, and it's been a surreal journey, but 2016 started an oyster farm, and then we opened up an oyster restaurant in Portland, and then we started shipping throughout the country during the COVID years. But this is really what it's all about, and it's so fun, kind of echoing what Jordan was saying about just all of us farmers coming together for these events that Gillian and Steph put together, and it was another farmer who introduced me to Gillian to put the event together, so I feel very lucky to be part of all this.
Yes, all right,
industry.
How are you feeling, Emily?
I'm excited. I haven't had an oyster, I think, since June.
It's been a
maybe.
while.
June.
And you've
Okay,
never shucked an
that's
oyster.
No,
So
I've
what
never.
what's the secret to successfully shucking an oyster?
Okay, so there's a lot of steps, but we're going to have to speed it up a little for the TV camera. And
Appreciate that.
essentially, you have a knife,
Yep.
and you have an oyster, and you have a round side and a flat side.
Okay.
And if you think the oyster is only connected with one muscle up here, but we're basically going in on this hinge point here, on the angle of the shell, with a motion that's like a twisting like this, not like that. So like I use a towel
Like
to
clockwise.
Like it's like jimmying a lock. So you're on that
Okay.
hinge point and you're like twisting your knife back and forth.
Like a bobby pin and a lock, right?
Yeah, like a
Trying-
bobby pin. Yeah,
trying to
so if
lock
you
a
break in
door.
a lock, you'd be
Yes,
very
yes.
good
Breaking
at
a
this.
lock.
So you can use a towel to stabilize it. And so I'm just like on that little point there, and I'm just like using steady pressure inwards. And you see it starting to twist open there.
Yeah.
So, and these are
Okay.
Blackstone points, great oyster from the Damascata region.
Beautiful.
And
Yeah.
so once you're in, that's like 95% of the battle. So
Okay.
then you want to kind of twist your knife so it's on both sides, because you think of just a knife sliding across the top edge to kind of like break it off that
Ooh,
one.
that's a
Look
good
at
one,
that.
too.
Yes.
That's a good one.
She's distracted by the beautiful oyster.
And then you just got to sever it off the bottom. So then it's just off the bottom, and then
There you have it.
I feel you get to eat your oyster that you shuck,
okay,
but would
okay.
you like
Oh,
this
sure.
one? Is,
Yes, I'd
yeah.
love to.
It's extra
Thank you.
juicy, this
okay.
one, too.
Let's go
All
right
right,
in.
Katie.
Okay. These are from Damascata, you said?
Damascata, yep.
Good?
Briny. Delicious.
Okay, good.
Awesome.
I'm excited.
Really good.
Okay, so I
Okay.
need the
Oh,
gloves,
that's amazing.
obviously.
Okay.
The gloves will not help with the stab. They're more for the sides of the knife, so just be careful.
Okay.
And Gillian, tell us what we can expect
All
from
right.
the Maine Oyster Fest as Emily begins her journey.
Oh,
spots?
absolutely.
We should switch spots.
So
Okay.
thanks to John, we're connected with oyster farmers from up and down
So
the
this-
coast, and we usually have about 30 different oyster
like, actually
farms
push
there,
down?
and they
twisting like
each
that inwards
are
once
ready
you
Okay.
to talk
go.
about where their oysters are grown and where they're harvested
just
and
keep doing
what
that
makes their
and push
flavors
forward
different,
as you
and
do
you get
it.
to
It will
taste
go
different
in.
oysters.
This
and
is so
They
listen
truly
to
do.
live
Wait.
music.
Oh, did you do
Look
it?
at that.
Oh,
Okay.
she did. She's got this.
did.
Now what?
Okay.
I know.
But-
So keep doing that, twisting like back and forth. Now you
Oh.
can kind of pick it up in your hand
Okay.
a little.
All right.
And think of then like bringing it, if you're like at
Like this?
go like 90 degrees the other direction.
Like
and
this?
Keep, yep,
Yep.
and keep twisting it that way.
Oh
and
my
just come,
gosh.
You're like,
Like
a
this?
pro, you got
Yeah,
it.
I was very
Good.
determined.
Yeah.
Do you need any help Saturday? She could come by. And
Well, we had a
Yeah.
shucking
Absolutely.
competition
Yeah.
on Friday night.
okay.
So.
Friday night.
So now it's off. No,
Well,
it's
yep,
not.
just keep going. Yep, got it. Basically there.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah,
you're,
there you
yeah,
are. Look
you're
at
right
that.
there.
Ooh.
Yeah.
It's the
It's
gloves.
so
It's because
true
the
about-
gloves aren't that big. Ooh, is this a bad one?
It's totally good. No, it's
Okay,
like,
all right.
it's great. No, it's like, there's
Yeah.
no judgment.
All right,
And then
and
just
then
slide
I-
it off the bottom of the, yeah, there
This
you got
way?
it. Yep. Don't
You
be
did
delicate
it.
with it.
You
I
did
can
it.
be aggressive with it. You can really,
I see
yeah.
the things where you
Perfect.
like flip it.
Yep, that's
That's
flipping's kind of
a
a little bit of
prettier
the cheat to
side.
make it higher shot, but it's
that's
all
okay.
right.
It's her first
okay.
time.
Is this a good one?
That's a great
That's a
one.
good
That looks
one.
fantastic.
Looks
like the
amazing.
best I've
Kind
ever
of like
seen
to
shucked
drain
on
the
TV
juice a
here.
little bit. I'm sorry. I just don't like the juice a lot. Well, whatever. It's for TV. I'll take it right now. Okay. And then I'll take the gloves off
Okay.
so they're not going in my mouth. So, oh my gosh. Now I can buy a dozen at the store.
Now you
and
know.
do it myself.
You can't, I took an oyster shucking class that John
Okay.
taught at the Maine
Oh,
Oyster
Well, I just
Company.
got mine just now.
Yes.
And
All right,
you,
I'm gonna
work,
eat it.
you work your way through, is it 6 or a
Yum.
dozen?
A
I can't
dozen
remember.
is
It's a
like what we
dozen.
do at the
And by
class,
the
but-
end of the dozen, you really do feel like,
Amazing.
oh, I got
Briny.
this down.
Wow.
You did it.
Yes, it's right.
Yeah.
I
like
love the
drinking
flavor.
the ocean.
And I think it's so interesting how, depending on where you get them and everything, the flavors really do
They
stand
do.
out. Like they're very
Yeah.
different. So
They're an
They're
awesome
special.
product. They're really,
That's
they're
fun.
really great for the state of Maine too. Is just such a fun industry to be part of for growth.
So are you going to be shucking all day Saturday, or what's your plan Saturday?
I will.
Yeah,
That'd be good.
I can be a little all over the place
Yes.
on Saturday, but we're pretty
Yeah.
organized. It's great. The Maine Studios is a phenomenal
Oh, it is.
facility, and it is about just farmers hanging out. 70-ish farmers, 30-plus farms. It's
Yeah.
it's really
It's a big group.
cool.
Awesome.
And it
it's
is a
gonna
really
be
good
Yeah.
time.
the
Live
whole
music
weekend.
too.
Yeah.
It's a ton of fun.
All
Yeah.
right. Well, thank you both so much for
welcome.
joining
Thank
us.
you for showing me how
Thank
to do
you.
now.
Yeah,
I can,
congratulations,
yeah, I can
Emily.
now do it.
And we're gonna shuck the rest. Okay, you have to shuck the
Emily's
rest of
in
these
sh-
for us,
Oh, no,
okay,
no.
Emily?
I gotta go do the weather now.